going to be discussing. So this is a just a glance for you where we are in the last topics what we have discussed. Is we started the chapter 2 of unit 4, that is a cloud disaster recovery. Under that we have completed the first topic, that is discovery recovery planning, as well as we have started the disaster in the cloud. Disaster in the cloud, right? So under that, so this is what we have seen in the last class, disaster recovery planning. Under the two topics we have seen it, RPO, recovery point object, as well as recovery time object, right? So we have started the second topic, disaster in the cloud. Under that we have focused on the backup and data retention. Backup and data retention, this topic is completed. Under this we have seen the different types of data, of what type of data we have to focus for the backup. So we have seen the strategies as well, how we are going to be, whenever the data is lost, how we are going to be recovering that data, right? Now today we are going to be see the next subheading under the disaster. Here we are, here second topic, here we are in this one, second subtopic of disasters in the cloud, that is geographic redundancy. So let me start. Geographic redundancy. The meaning of geography itself says that in different locations, if you have different locations of overall in a particular area, then geographically in the different locations, how we are going to be storing that data. Because whenever disaster happen, we have to take the backup. So to do that backup, what you are doing is redundancy means multiple, have multiple copies of the same. So geographically, we have to maintain multiple copies in different locations. That is the topic intention. Now, how you are going to doing that one? To whether entire system has to take the geographical redundancy or only the few. What are the issues you are facing whenever we are making the geographic redundancy? Means making the backup in the different locations. Under this, we have had to talk about the spanning availability zones, the operating across regions. Under that, we have discussed the three different subheadings, that is DNS, domain name servers management, and database management regularity issues. Let me have see what actually the geographic redundancy means. In the sense, we have seen that RTO is mainly focused on how much of time it takes to recover. Now to recover that one, what we are going to doing is we are maintaining a different infrastructures in the different locations. That is called as geographic redundancy. This infrastructure is not only the database, but also the network, but also the other servers, whatever we require to make the or to prevent the disasters or to recover from the disaster. Now, redundancy in the infrastructure is called as with respect to if you are maintaining a physical infrastructure geographically, this is more expensive because maintaining the different infrastructure, different locations physically is not possible. If you consider as a cloud disaster, the topic itself, disasters in the cloud. If you consider this same infrastructure with the help of the cloud, it will be relatively cheap of this. So the problem with the physical infrastructure is maintaining the different data structures is a cost one. It is expensive. To overcome that one, we are going to focus on cloud, the geography redundancy, where it is look like a little bit of cheaper, right? Now I'll show you an example here in this scenario. One example, let me see one example here. Sai Sri, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sutta Sai Sri, are you
Yes,
there?
sir. Yes, sir.
Bhavita,
Sir,
64. Bhavita, are you there?
yes, sir.
Yes. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Kavita. Before. Right. Niharika.
Yes, sir.
Niharika.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Hello. Niharika.
Sir, yes, sir.
Arun Sai.
సార్
Hello.
హలో సార్ చెప్పండి సార్
Arun Sai.
ఎస్ సార్
Govind.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
Govind.
Yes, sir. Sir.
Govind, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Sai Rupa.
Yes, sir.
Sai Rupa.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes,
Sai Rupa.
sir.
Hello. Hello. Okay, right.
Yeah.
Sai Rupa, are you there? Rakshit. Rakshit.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, fine. So my voice is audible, right?
Yes, sir.
The screen you are seeing now.
Sir, I'm seeing the diagrams, data centers.
Okay, right. Just I'm cross-checking how many are live or how many are listening really. Nishant. Nishant, are you there? Hello, Nishant. Are you there? 81. Anjali.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Anjali. The screen you are
Yes,
seeing
sir.
now. The screen you are seeing.
Diagrams, data center north.
Okay, right. Thank you. Asifa.
Sir, yes, sir.
Is it? So the screen you are seeing now?
Data centers one, sir. Partition A, partition B.
Okay. Right, so we'll continue. Now, this example shows you how the different data centers we are making redundant. See, this is the north zone. This screen, this is north zone. We are putting node 1, node 2. And here in south zone, we are putting node 3, node 4. Or this, through WAN, we are going to be accessing this one. Through the WAN, we are accessing. Now, what we are doing is, we are making this redundance is a partition A and partition B. We are putting 1, 2, 4 in partition A. 1, 2, 4, we are putting in partition A. and 3, 4, 2, again we are putting in partition B. So making this geographically in the cloud, taking of this backup and store in the different regions or different locations is called as this geographic redundancy. So by this, the main objective of geographic redundancy is making a different infrastructures in making the different infrastructures in the different locations, not instead of the physical infrastructure, go for cloud. Now come to the first subheading under the geographical redundancy is spanning available zones. Meaning of spanning is nothing but just we are going to be distributing, spanning over through a region. Now in this example, see through the cloud, internet means through the cloud, zone A and zone B, availability zone A and zone B going to be accessing this. How it is going to be accessing is through a whenever any load will be more against this zone A or any loss of this one, this load balancer will take care of that. How much load is there, it will be moved automatically to the zone B, or any failure occurs here, the load balancer automatically take care of and move to the zone B. Now here also we have this application server MySQL master. Now if you see the figure here, whatever the master actions we are doing, automatically the slave will make that one. Whatever the master has doing, it will be do the write operation, W operations over in the slave, because any failures occur, anything has happened to this zone A, automatically have to take care from the zone B. Who will be take care of that is load balancer. If you observe the figure, in zone B, we don't have any load balancer because any number of zones will be there, but only one load balancer has to take care of that. Okay, so because failure or anything is going on, any transaction, any service is going on through with the help of load balancer is because the load balancer has to be take care of that, which service has to take into picture, who will give the priority, for which service have to give priority, everything will take care by the load balancer. So that's why only in node zone we have only application server as well as the MS SQL, that is nothing but database slave. So this is called as spanning availability zone. Spanning availability zone means the same zone of it will be reflected in different one across will be available. Now the second subheading is operating across region. So how you are going to operating across region is, say for example, the Amazon, what you are doing, we have already seen some of the, when you are selecting AMI, we have already seen that how it is going to be selecting. We have already seen how the Amazon is selecting these two regions. One is US East one, where US East one nothing but Eastern United States one and Western European. These are the two regions they are going to be selecting. For these two regions, they are maintaining the different infrastructures. Now, what is the advantage of having this one is easily, if you remember the nuclear attack on the US as well as on the Europe, EU, it will be easily survivable because of having this in the two different regions, the same infrastructure. Whenever any failure happen for the US, that is due to the nuclear attack, you see the figure at the bottom of this one, where in the different states of this, different cities, how they are going to impact. These are the red. All these are the cities belongs to the US. Now, whenever it is done, it is automatically take care of the infrastructure is already available in Europe. When the nuclear attacks happen, because of this backup of redundancy of infrastructure, this problem is easily taken care by this one. But there is a problem in maintaining of this one to operate this one because the lacking of common infrastructures make the task of replica. Every small transaction, every small operation, you have to make replica. Replica means make a duplicate of that wherever you have the regions. For the same action, same operation, if you have multiple infrastructure redundancies are there across the different regions, in every region you have to make that replica. So that is the headache process and more difficult process to operate this one. So advantage is there as well as a drawback also be there for this one. So whenever such type of attacks will be there, attacks will be there, if you try to overcome with the help of this redundant geographical infrastructure. And the problem is every time, for every action, for every operation, for every task, we have to make the replica. So that is a problem over this. And if you see operational across regions will be consisting of the DNS management, database management, regularity issues. Now let me see the first subheading under the operational across regions, DNS. DNS stands for domain name system. So what will we do this DNS is a DNS management is a software. The objective of this software is it will be controls the DNS servers clusters. we have different regions, we have different clusters, right? Definitely. Each region is nothing but a cluster. Now, in each region, again, we have the application server, the database server, all. It will be grouped into one. So this will be deployed in physically. Physically, it will be deployed this in a multiple physical servers. This is deployed in multiple physical servers. So the main purpose of this DNS management software is to reduce the human error. How means whenever editing anything or any want to repeat the same action, it will be overcome. So when editing complex will be there, when you are copying, pasting or something, or when you are doing any transaction replica, then this type of small human errors can be reduced with the help of this DNS management software. And also we have a round robin DNS, which will becomes based on if it will be failure automatically based on the round robin algorithm, which is there in the OS. Automatically the round based on the IP addresses will be shared across the portable regions, and they will be exchanged this server. So I will show you an example how the DNS management will be done. So if you see a little bit of 90%, the figure is clarity, only 10% is a blur, no problem. Now see here, DNS management, this is the page of DNS management server software. Here we have putting the host name and what type of record type, whether it is a mail or maybe a B, C or MXC, what type of record type you are sending, for under which address you are going to sending, that we have to mention here. What is the priority of that? So because already I said round robin, it will take care of that. For this host name, this record type is there through this IP address and through the priority. If you want, you can mention. Based on this, automatically the IP addresses here, the IP addresses take care by this round robin, where it will move automatically whenever the traffic is more, whenever any disaster will happen or anything is done, automatically it share the IP addresses. So automatically it move from that actual way of IP address to the another IP address. Like this domain name system management software will take care of that, allocating the IP addresses from one region to another region whenever any disasters or whenever any attacks will be done. The second subheading under this operational across zones is database management. How the database management is done means, as you all already studies the master slave, we are going to make a setup of this setup of a master in one region and with a slave in another region. Just now we have seen previously also master and slave. If you see the figure, here is a DNS master. If you see the first step, we have a zone files. What we are doing for the zone files is, first step, it will make a DNS master. Now once you have make the DNS master, the second step is we are creating in the third way DNS slaves, like this, DNS slaves. Now once you have done it, whenever any operation has done in this DNS master, automatically it is pushing from this, pushing to the slaves. Whenever anything is required, it will be accessed in the fifth step through this type of the protocols, AXFR or IXFR. This file recovering through these protocols we can be done through this. So what this database management, how it will be recovering means, we are maintaining all the zone files as a setup of a master and a slave. Whatever the operations you have done, you are writing operations in the DNS master, automatically reflected to the another in DNS slave as well, right? Now this third subheading is regularity issues in the operational across regions. Regularity issues will be mainly focused on, it does not allow the storage of certain data. How means, see if you see the figure, what are the different regulatory issues will be, maybe the policies will be not be allowed, or maybe the regulations, maybe the standards will not be allowed, the transparency, the requirements will not be suitable, maybe because of the compatible reasons, the law illegal issues will be there, the standard protocols will be restricted, and rules as per the norms, as per the SOA or as per the rules of policies will not be allowed. So because of these reasons, the regularity issues also be there when you are want to be put the multiple copies in the different locations, different geographical locations, when you want to move from one to another. Because one location, if you have store in India, one location you have store in India, another location if you are going to be have store in, say for example, US, maybe the data whatever pushing over here, because of the network issues, because of the policies here, because this network, this region, this domain is differently using of this one. because the policies are very different. So if you see some of the softwares, if you see the different newspapers, it is not as per the security policies. It is not as per the standards of security. Like this, we have seen different articles or different software, because if you're not implementing that software as per the security norms, as per the regulatory issues, no other country will be not allow you to make advertise or to make have sold out in the different countries, because if the security norms is there, definitely it will be allowed, because all the transactions will be done with the help of software, so that it can be avoid hacking of others. The third subheading under the organizational redundancy. Now what we have covered in this is, you see here we are, right? Disaster in the cloud. We have completed last class backups and the data redundancy. Now we have just now completed geographical redundancy. Now here we are. The third heading in the disasters in the cloud is organizational redundancy. Now come to the organizational redundancy. Let me have any doubts. So please raise your hands. Neha.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Neha. Where we are?
Organizational redundancy, sir.
Right. Chilla, any had doubts?
No, sir.
Okay. Are you listening?
Yes, sir.
Good. Suresh. Are you there, Suresh? 62. Suresh, are you there? Yes. Are you there? Shalini.
Sir.
Yes, Shalini. Any doubts?
No, sir.
Fine. Tarun, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tarun. Which screen you are seeing
sir.
now?
Organizational redundancies.
Okay, good. So any doubts till now?
No, sir.
There is a very simple answer, right? Everyone has saying no, simply. Right. So the last subheading under this disasters in the cloud is organizational redundancy. This is organizational redundancy is nothing but just we are making whatever the organization, whoever the organization they are maintaining, make a secondary cloud provider. There is one backup has to provide keep a one backup in the secondary cloud provider, and we have to create the machine images to access this one. So with the help of virtualization environments. Now we have to keep update of this machine images, because once you created a machine image, it will be created maybe, for example, if it is image is last month. Now if you want to be make this as a virtual environment with the help of that same machine image, now in this short period of 1 month, there is a more updates will be came into that. So we have to keep all these machine images up to date, and we don't have to give the permissions to all the cloud providers as well as the managed service providers, not to give the all the accessories, all the permissions to access all our system. Based on the dependency, we can be give either selected cloud providers, we can give the permissions, or for the selected manager service providers, give the permissions. So these are the minimum steps we have to be considered in the organizational redundancy. You have to make a backup of secondary for our whatever the data we have, create machine images, and up to date keep the machine images updated, and don't give the permissions to all the cloud providers and all the service providers. Based on the dependency, you can give only selected cloud providers or selected service providers give the